What's up friends, Liron here, and today we're doing another spontaneous sketching video. You'll learn how to sketch this. It's a beautiful scene from Bruges. So the thing is, the video was a bit too long because it took some time to actually draw all of that. So I'm gonna split it up to two parts. The first part is gonna be the drawing, and then I'm gonna go over and shade it and do that in a separate video that I'll upload in a day or two, okay? So I'll also add a link to the reference image. You can work together with me. It's not all real time, there's a lot of time lapses, but I think it's still good if you pause the video and you can continue working, okay? Let's get to it. Okay friends, let's jump straight to business. I'm looking at the reference image, I got it in front of me, and I'll also, as I said, add a link so that you can see it and sketch together with me. I know a lot of people want to do that. I'm using a Micron Pigma 04, and I'm just going to pick a random place. Well, not really random, there will be some thought behind it, but I'll just pick somewhere to start with and try and see the entire sketch in my mind's eye, because I'm not using any guidelines, okay? Now I want to apologize if there is some background noise coming through. They're doing construction works in the house next door, so sorry about that. So a good place to start with would be perhaps the edge of the white building, and I'm trying to sort of imagine how it would work. And you know what, let's start from that. So I'm gonna try and pull here the line representing the bottom of the roof, okay? And to really concentrate, the first line can set the tone for much of the sketch painting. Okay, so this one looks good for first line, and you can just, if you don't understand exactly which line I did, so it's the line with the roof here, like that, okay. So the next thing I want to do is look for another line that's relatively easy to draw and is not obstructed by other shapes or forms. So if I go for this one here on the edge of the roof, it won't be so good because there's the window in the way. But I have this one line here on the right side of the edge that's really good because it's not obstructed by anything, and it'll give me a good general sense of the proportions. Okay, let me just try and turn off the light coming from here just to see if it's better. Okay, I think it's a little better like that. And now I'm gonna try and get that line through here. So I'm looking at the angle relative to the first line, and I'm ghosting over it, meaning I'm not drawing it, but I'm imagining the movement. Also, what you want to do is imagine the how do you say, like the length in comparison to this one. Okay, so I'm just going to go for it and we'll see how it works. I'm just gonna pull that line and stop hopefully where I should, around here. Great, we got it. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect every time because, again, it's really spontaneous and in the moment. Now I'm trying to, I think I messed up the proportions a little bit because for the tall building on the right, I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time stuffing it all in here because of the height. So I may change a few stuff, that's totally fine as well. Now we can actually go get that line over here, okay? And I'm just gonna go for it again, try to make it the correct length to stop in the right place, and there we go, we have it. Now I know this is really, again, like in my previous video, it's not the most organized approach for sketching in general, and most of the time I actually don't work like that. I actually pre-plan it much better and use pencil guidelines. But the thing I want to show you with these videos is that it is possible to just jump straight ahead and use ink or whatever it is and just get it done. And even if stuff aren't 100% accurate, you can kind of change few things around. And the thing is that this is a really good exercise for your visual perception because it forces you to get lines as accurate as possible on the first go. You know, some may argue against it, but I think a mix of many exercises is a good practice to have. So even if this one is not perfect for you, you may find that it does help you not perfect, but even if it's not the one exercise that you can just take all the way and work solely with that one, you will find that it generally helps you get better. So this area represents the thickness of the roof, because it's not a flat object laying on top of the building. So I just did this little thing here. And now I'm gonna get this line here. And it's just a vertical line. It's gonna stop somewhere around here. Okay, notice how I didn't even draw this one, because I want to get the windows into account here. Okay, and this is one of the hardest things I think to get the windows in this weird angle correctly. So I'll move on now and draw the rest of the main part of the building. So we have another line that's parallel to this one, just starting from a different position. So I'm trying to imagine the movement and then just going for it. See, and roughly parallel to this line. It may be a little confusing to see parallel lines like this, because you may be used to seeing them one next to the other, but if I continue this line, you're gonna see it's parallel to this one, okay? And this is exactly the thing we want to develop using this exercise. Let me know, I'm really doing it line by line, and it's gonna be a long video if I just continue. So at one point I'm gonna just go into time-lapse for a bit, but I'm curious to hear what you think, and if you like to actually do this line by line. I know a lot of people want that, so I'm trying to do a mix of the two, to sometimes do full line-by-line videos, and sometimes, you know, to ease things up a little, actually do a time-lapse. I may also just do a time-lapse version of this video regardless, just to have people look at the sketch. Now, we have this line here, and this one should reach approximately the same position, like that, okay? This one also should continue. We're gonna leave it like that for now. Now we have this part that I really want to get in, but we have this window in the way, so I'm just gonna imagine that I'm stopping it in the right place. So I'm just gonna go like that, and then I'm gonna continue up here, close this one, and get this line like that. And we got this part of the roof here. Okay. Now I'm going to add finally this part and close off this section of the roof. So I'm gonna do this now. I don't want to end it here. I was a bit inaccurate, so I'll actually end it somewhere here. So I'm just gonna aim for that area, like that. Continue the line in your mind and close it off. See, even smaller than I planned. And it's gonna be okay with the cross hatching and the shading. When you add those in, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna balance things out. Okay. Now I want to maybe finish off this left side, the general structure, and then go into time-lapse and get all the details in, just to keep this video not super duper long. So I'm gonna finish the roof here, and as you can see, this one is another parallel line. Now it may not be easy to get it like this, for me it's not, but it's easier to get it like this from above. So I'm just gonna freely move around the paper and change the angle as I please. Drawing buildings and stuff like that is actually can be a big challenge, especially if they're part of a larger view, because at any given moment you're supposed to really know what should be in the sketch or drawing or painting and what shouldn't. So it's great for just understanding what's relevant and what's not, and simplifying stuff. And I think, like, honestly, it's one of the hardest things ever. I used to think that portraits and drawing figures is much more complicated, but it really depends on your perspective, because when drawing large complicated scenes, you really need to have so many other skill sets, and a portrait is just a single object if you think about it on the canvas, on the paper, but drawing a view, like a big view, is a little more challenging, I think. I'm really influenced by Landscapes and Seascapes, I think the name of the book, or something like that, by Jack Ham. I'll actually do a flip through, something I never did before. I'll do a flip through through his book because he has some really phenomenal things there. Maybe sharing just a small picture here or somewhere. Or I may forget to do that when editing the video. It could happen as well. I'm gonna write it down for myself as a note. Yeah, okay, sorry for wasting your time. So what we're gonna do now is jump into time-lapse. I'm gonna get a lot of the things in. I'll just note that for the windows, I'm trying to see where they all start. So we have a line here, a line there, and then I'm gonna just pop them in, okay? It's not that complicated, but I wanna get through this entire building in time-lapse. Let's go for it. I'll be back in a few moments. Okay, I'm sorry if I was blocking some of the action. You see some lines are a little complicated to draw like that, so I have to come from above. Just wanted to note, again, as I said, I added tons of details, and also now I'm going to add the windows. Now, I just marked the lines on which the windows are going to sit, and I'm just looking for the division between them to see where, for example, we have 3 here, 3 here. So I'm just trying to divide it into 3 equal parts, okay? So this is, just wanted to mention how I'm approaching this. I'll get back to time-lapse now and finish this entire thing, and then we'll do some real time on the right structure here. Okay, now we are pretty much done with this left building, and now all we have to do is get this in. So I think what I'll do is get this tower in real time, and just to demonstrate how I have to lower it deliberately just to fit it in here in my paper. And then I'll just go ahead and blitz through all the rest in time-lapse. It's really ambitious to do all of that in real time because even after we finish drawing this, we actually need to sketch, like do the cross-hatching, give it some values. So there's a lot of work here. And I don't want to split it up into 2 videos or something like that. So, as you can see, the roof of the tower starts much higher than this, so it should start somewhere around here. But I'm going to lower it because otherwise it won't fit in my area, as I said. So I'm just going to pull it all the way through here, maybe, a bit above this roof. Just gonna draw this line here. You see it's shaky. It's good. Shaky lines are still viable lines. So for all the people with shaky hands, really don't worry about it. I actually talk about it again in my course. That shaky lines are perfectly fine as long as you know what you're doing. Now, of course, you want to improve over time and learn how to make lines that are a little more accurate, a little more graceful, but as a sketch or a drawing or something that you want to give your own character to it, it's perfectly normal. Not all lines are going to be perfect. Unless you're really obsessed about it and you take your time. And I think it's just not that fun and not that practical to work like that. So I just marked the point here and I'm just going to pull down a line from it, okay? So just like that. The funny thing is that with time you develop this sixth sense that tells you in advance if a line is going to be a little more complex to draw for you for that specific angle or not. And like I really felt this one's going to be annoying, but this one's easier. So it's again something you get with practice. So now we got in the roof, and I'm just going to divide this area into 3/3, sorry. And There are some windows here. I'm just going to show how I approach this because here I did it all in time-lapse. So I'm just going to mark down. There are 3 windows, but I lowered it. So maybe let's do 2. I'm going to put down a window like that here and another one starting here. And I think it's going to be good. And the same thing happens here. Symmetric. So something like that. Now you want to get the angle of the window like this, and the angle of the other window like that, and like this and that, and we're done. You know what, I just thought about it and I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna split this video into 2 parts. So one part is going to be the drawing part, and another is going to be the shading and giving this values, because I think there's a lot of things to learn from both. So I'm actually just thought about it now. This is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm sorry if you like complete videos, like from start to finish, that actually finish the work 100%. I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. Now here we have something really interesting. We have this dent in the wall, and the reason I think it's a dent at least, is because light comes from the top, and we have this top area of the dent really shaded. So I'm gonna try and get it in. It's like this, and then like that, and like that. It's sort of a door. It's just a way that leads to a door. And this is what I liked about Bruges. It's just such a beautiful place and has so many different weird constructions, actually. This is what I think. Weird but interesting. So I'm now gonna blitz through all the rest in time-lapse, and we will see how it goes. And I'll just come back and wrap it up and talk a bit about what I've done, and we'll leave the whole shading thing for the next video, which I'll probably just continue recording and publish them one by one in a difference, maybe a short difference between the two. Anyway, let's get to it, and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, friends, this is it, I believe. This was a rough area, all of the steps here. This is one of the actually characteristics of the interesting things about Bruges, and it's just beautiful. The stairs here, I just did them just like that, just a jagged line, and then I added their 3-dimensionality, just a little nifty trick. If you find yourself struggling with it, you just first draw. You know what, let me grab a piece of paper and actually show you what I mean. So you just go ahead and you draw the shape of them like that, and depending on the angle you may draw it more like that, okay? But let's say let's just pick one, and then you start to adding their 3-dimension shape. So it's like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this. This is a rough paper. It's used for watercolor mainly, so it's not the perfect fit for a pen. But anyway, you get the main idea. Now, for example, if light comes from this side, so all these left areas are going to be shaded, okay? I just want to add this more advanced tip for anyone who's more interested. So if you want to get it just like I did, so you actually have this shape of steps, right? And on top of each step, there's this part that's a little protruding, okay? So what I did was, again, I completed the 3-dimensional shape. Okay, and then for each one I added that protruding part. It's like a brick that's placed on top of it. Very common in actually many construction, I think, shapes in Bruges and in Europe. I think in general you have this sort of a brick on top of a step, and what happens is when light comes from above, from the sun, you'll have this nice shadowy area under that brick that will help you indicate it's there. Okay, like this. So we have a shadow under it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that part was clear. So you can see it here as well, okay? Anyway, this is it for this one. Let's wrap it up. That's it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will, as I mentioned, add the second one in a day or two, and I'll also make a time-lapse video showing the entire process just really fast with nice music in the background, okay? One last thing, I uploaded a video a few days ago about rushing the creation process, and most of my videos that do not discuss like a how-to, like a pure how-to video, get less views. Now, if it interests you, I advise you to check it out. I'll add a link here, I think. If you wanna actually help me out and check it out and tell me what you think about it, I'll be really happy and thankful. So this is it. I'll see you in the next video really soon. Until then, take care.